Thanks so much, Travis. New tonight, the city of Spokane will have more oversight of scraps. Earlier this evening, city council members appointed 2 people to the shelter's advisory committee, as KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk reports.
This decision comes a week after scraps euthanized more than a dozen dogs in a single day. Tonight, council members also passed an ordinance to crack down on illegal massage businesses and human trafficking.
What we're seeing now are women coming over, typically from China. The organization is based on the west side, bringing women over here to ostensibly do massage, but there are other things that they do. And so this is curbing that activity.
Now, the ordinance allows the city to deny or revoke licenses for massage businesses involved in illegal activities or employing unlicensed therapists. Council members say they want to protect the reputation of legitimate massage businesses as well as public safety. Now, the council also appointed interim city administrator Garrett Jones and code enforcement director Luis Garcia to the Scraps Advisory Board. This will give the city more oversight at the shelter, which is operated by Spokane County. Council members recently passed an ordinance limiting euthanasia, saying it's only allowed when a vet determines an animal is severely injured, sick, or suffering. Scraps told us they will euthanize dogs deemed too dangerous to adopt. Also tonight, praise for Spokane transit drivers who helped evacuate people in Medical Lake during the Gray Fire.
The city of Spokane thanks them for their brave work, ensuring people, their pets, and belongings were safely moved to the evacuation shelter.
STA sent 10 buses and 15 vans. Some of the drivers involved were at tonight's meeting. In the studio, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
One of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy won't be the Speaker of the House, or he'll be the Speaker of the House working at the pleasure of the Democrats.
Republican Representative Matt Gaetz called for a vote to boot House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his position. The challenge came just hours ago. It comes after Gaetz said McCarthy relied on Democrats to provide the necessary votes to fund the government. Now that the resolution has been filed, an official vote must take place within the next 2 days. The pandemic-era pause on student loan payments is over, and that means an added monthly expense for millions of Americans. For some, that will result in household spending cuts at a time when the economy is already slowing down.
I'm now in more debt than the amount of money I've ever had in my pocket.
If you have loans and don't know where to start when it comes to repayment, don't panic. You can check out exactly how much you owe and how to pay it back at studentaid.gov. You can find a link to that website on our website, krem.com. Turning now to weather, a sunny morning quickly became cloudy skies with a chance of rain. Let's turn it over to KREM 2's Cody Proctor to find out what else is in store for this week. Hi, Cody.
Hi, Janelle. And yeah, we've saw some rain today. Even on my way back from my dinner break, it started to rain pretty decently. Not heavy, just decent enough that you really needed the windshield wipers to clean off your window. But right now, as we head into the next few days, look for some changes. Currently, though, at this very moment, we're at 56 degrees at the Spokane Airport. Winds are coming out of the south at 5 miles per hour at this time. Across the region, we're mostly tracking into those 50s for us this evening. And as we take a look at our weather pattern, we are seeing some changes moving in. It's thanks to that ridge that you can kind of see that we'll just call it a hump. It's a hump. It's a hump of clouds moving in from the Pacific heading towards the northwest right now. But let's talk about that rain for a moment. That's relatively widespread across our region, and we've certainly been feeling it. Next 12 hours looks to bring us into the low 50s tomorrow morning, but the next few days, that change, that ridge could see our temperatures warming up in the upper 60s, maybe even 70s for your weekend.
Thanks, Cody. Now to Night Beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We're still investigating exactly what happened at a shooting over the weekend in Meade. One man was killed and another was injured. But just hours ago, we learned from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office that the 2 men may have been fighting a security officer who shot them over a trespassing dispute. Deputies say the dispute escalated from a verbal fight to a physical one. That's when the security guard shot both men, killing one of them. KREM 2 spoke to a man who says he knew one of the victims and questions what led to the deadly confrontation.
There's a lot of us that want answers, you know, and accountability. And if there was wrongdoing, justice needs to be going for him.
The identities of the 2 men have not been released. At this time, no charges have been filed. Tonight, we know the identity of a man killed in a shooting in northeast Spokane last month. According to the Spokane County Medical Examiner, 32-year-old Devin Rowden died from a gunshot wound to the chest. His death has been ruled as a homicide. Spokane police arrested 19-year-old Abraham Valderas in connection with Rowden's death. He's currently being held in the Spokane County Jail on a $1 million bond. The University of Idaho is moving forward with plans to create a garden for Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez, the 4 students who were brutally murdered almost a year ago. So far, the project has raised more than $200,000, all of which will go toward a permanent memorial for all students who never lived to see graduation day.
What happened last November was a very significant tragedy for our campus, as well as in our entire community. So within the garden itself, we'll have a specific memorial honoring the memory and legacy of the 4 students we lost in November. But the entire healing garden is all about all the vandals that we lose over the years.
The university says at this point there are no plans for a memorial on King Road where the students were murdered. The house will be demolished, but at this time, a date has not yet been set. On that note, today was the original scheduled start date for the man accused of murdering those 4 students. Brian Koberger waived his right to a speedy trial in August, meaning that date was thrown out. A new date has not yet been set, but it could be in 2024. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com.